The Argo football team returns home this weekend to play host to Shorter. We recap a tough matchup with Midwestern State and preview this week. Plus, we chat with Argo linebacker Gavin Burford and recap the week in Argo sports. Next on the Coach Shinnick Show on the UWF Sports Network. And welcome in. It's week 3 of the Coach Shinnick Show. He is Coach Shinnick. I'm Tommy Thrall. Thanks for being with us, Coach. A tough one at Midwestern State. You knew that was going to be a tough game going in. The travel's hard. You've done that travel before. I don't know if you've done that type of travel and then had to play a team the caliber of Midwestern State before, have you?
No, not really. And, the closest thing would have been our first round of the playoffs going, busting up to Wingate. And really everything clicked for us in that game, and we were able to get a shutout in the first round of the playoffs. Midwestern, we believe, fantastic opponent. We knew that when we scheduled them, 2 years ago, going back, trying to find a game last year. And that game obviously was canceled by a hurricane. And, we knew exactly what we were getting into. We knew the type of preparation, the type of team they were, and what we had to do. And unfortunately, we were really only able to do that for one half of the game.
What do you learn about yourselves from a game like that?
Well, I think Midwestern State's a top 5 team in the country, and I think there is balance to offense as you're going to see with as composed a quarterback as there is in the nation. And we saw that they're an opportunistic defense as well. So what we learned is, we can go toe-to-toe, but we got to learn to finish.
All right, let's take a look at the highlights. Long trip, long bus ride. I'm sure you had to break it up some, but then you came out first half and you looked good right there. A fumble, though, on a play right out of the gate, Haram Velez there. But you were still able to get the offense kind of cranked up in the first half.
We really were, and that was our opening drive, and unfortunate, didn't think it was a fumble, but we got it. Ish made one of his trademark catches right there. Sam made a great throw. Quade's gonna, that's gonna be on a highlight reel for a long time. That one will go down. Great run for him, and really we were clicking. We were doing. And then this right here, probably as good a ball as we've thrown, since we've been around. That was a great shot to Ezra Saffold, and just Sam put it out there.
And then things turned around a little bit, though, in the second half.
They did. They really started firing on all cylinders. We couldn't get much going. We tied the game here 17-17, and really with 9:25 to go in the game, it's tied up. And obviously the end result doesn't look like that. This is just a great ad lib by a senior quarterback. He wanted to throw the boundary. He ends up coming back to the field and, tiptoe catch on the sideline, and then, they get the touchdown run that kind of gets them up by 14, and we lose to what I think is a very, very good football team.
And, you see the end result. The game's a little closer than that score indicates. We say that a lot. Seems like a cliche. But you're right there with a very good football team. And, again, I think that tells you kind of where you guys are at and where you need to get to, doesn't it?
It really does. And we knew, again, you look at your schedule all summer long and you go, what do you got to do? What's it going to take? I think we were prepared. I think our guys understood. We just didn't get, any of the breaks that we got in the first half. We were able to get some pressure on the quarterback, knock the ball out a couple times. He had a little more time in the second half. And then offensively, we just missed on some opportunities. We really did. And, again, I think the game's closer than the final score, but the final score is what it is, and we've got to grow from that, and we got to continue to move forward.
What were some of the things you learned about your team after that game?
Well, looking at it going back, I think they realize how close they are, okay? And, again, we're in a third year of a program, and we had a phenomenal second year, which really was an amazing finishing, going on the road and winning. Here we are in the second game of the season playing what I think, again, will be a team that's got a great chance of going undefeated and winning a lot of games in the playoffs. And we proved that we're right there. It reminded me a lot of the first time we played West Alabama. We felt like we were closer than we were. Final score didn't show it, but, now we've got to pick up the pieces and get ready for conference play.
A lot of the process of a program growing has to do with the facilities. You guys are certainly fortunate to have one of the best facilities in your weight room. Kent Morgan takes us through the new weight room facilities here on the UWF campus.
My goal, and I think the goal for this program was to have a beautiful facility that that recruits would and parents would really have an eyeball to, and but it's need to function well. And so I feel like we have one of the nicest weight rooms in the country. I really do. I mean, we have between not only this weight room, but the weight room we have in the field house. I feel like we have resources that a lot of Division II schools don't have, which gives us an advantage to train our athletes, to a better, more elite level. So, it's a beautiful facility, great view. So it was a lot of fun to build and to design. So, but the whole goal was to bring the technology and give our athletes better opportunities to get better. So. I feel like we did that. Each rack in here is designed, it's custom designed, so nobody in the country has the same rack we have. There are certain things I wanted on there that they had never done before. So cable columns in every rack and just certain things like that. Basically, every rack has an iPad. We have a tool at every rack that can measure barbell speed. So anytime the bar is moving, we can see how much force is being produced. We can track barbell speed. We can generate a lot of reports off of that. Athlete and parents walk through the door. I mean, their jaws drop sometimes in terms of, because we were able to do a lot of branding in here. TVs and floor. We got a real nice floor but anyway, a lot of logos and the functionality of it. It's all been a really positive feedback from it. I think it definitely has helped.
A great facility there, and as we welcome back in head coach Pete Shinnick, that's got to be nice for the program. That I'm sure it feels great to have a facility like that. How have the kids responded?
Well, our current players have loved it because we're able to get a lot more done. We've got a bigger space. We can get more guys in there. And then I think it's really helped in the recruiting trail because once we get somebody on campus and they see the commitment, from the university to our program, and that's really what facilities are. It's a commitment from the university to say, hey, we believe in this program, we believe in what's taking place, and here's the resources to show that.
Well, it's certainly great, and great piece there. Still more to come. We'll kind of take a look at what changed first half to second half. A lot more with head coach Pete Shinnick when we come back. It's the Coach Shinnick Show on the UWF Sports Network.
We will never settle for the kiddie pool. We are destined for the vast ocean of opportunities that await us. We were born to make a splash. At the University of West Florida, you can make a discovery, make a difference, make a splash. So take a deep breath and dive in. The University of West Florida. How will you make a splash?
So hear me scream. I was too young to understand what it means. I couldn't wait till I could be 17. I thought it loud when he said take my time to dream. Now I wish I could freeze the time at 17.
1 in 3 teens who smoke will lose years of these moments. It's your life. Don't miss a thing.
Welcome back into the Coach Shinnick Show. We are recapping last week's ball game against Midwestern State, and welcome back in head coach Pete Shinnick. We talked about that game being very different first half to second half. So let's start with the first half. A lot of good things happened in that opening half. Moved the ball really well with Sam Vaughn at quarterback. So what did you like about the way you guys executed offensively in that first half?
Well, we were on point with our reads, and we were getting the ball, off in a timely fashion. I really believe we left a lot of points on the field. We saw the opening fumble there. We also had a drop in the end zone. And so we left some points out there that I felt like, if we would have gotten them, might have been a different story. in the second half, really came out, moved the ball well, but just could not really get past their 40-yard line except for the field goal try. We took a couple of deep shots, and then we didn't connect on them like we did in the first half.
Did they change up looks on you defensively in that second half?
No, I think they just kind of tightened down a little bit, played a little, they mixed and matched a little bit in the secondary. They took away the run a little different by trying to get a seventh guy in the box. But I think in the end, going back, looking at it, it's like we had opportunities. We just need to take advantage of them.
Sam Vaughn, his first start at quarterback. How'd he do? How'd you feel he did in that role?
I think he played well. I mean, he can play better, and he knows that. And I think one of the exciting things about him is day to day he's getting better. He's seeing things. And, you're talking about trying to get 4 years of experience in a guy very quickly. And so a defense throws something new at him or something different at him, and he's kind of processing that. He had probably 3 plays that I think if he'd take them back, we're getting 5 to 6 yards on a first down instead of getting 0. And now that changes where the chains are. It changes how we call plays. So you eliminate those mistakes. I mean, I think offensively, we went out, we held the ball for a while. We were able to get some good yardage. We just didn't get enough points when we had those opportunities.
While we're talking about quarterbacks, how's Mike progressing?
Progressing day to day, so he was throwing a little bit yesterday at practice. So, again, we just kind of see it one day at a time and see how this thing's going to work out for him.
You certainly don't want to take anything for granted. Is this week another opportunity to maybe give him a little extra rest to get him as healthy as he can before he comes back?
We're going to treat, with his situation, we're going to treat it as, as soon as we can get him back, we're going to get him back. And obviously we got to have the go-ahead from the doctors and our training staff to make sure that he's ready. But right now, as we say, it's day to day.
Well, let's talk about the defense now. We talked about the offense, first half, second half. Your defense did a great job to slow them down and really contain them in the first half. What was working and what were you able to do to kind of keep them at bay?
I thought we disrupted them extremely well. They're a big RPO team, so you don't know if they're going to run. You don't know if they're going to pass. You don't know what they're going to do. And we just did a great job disrupting them, and obviously we created 2 turnovers by getting to the quarterback. And in the first half, I felt, not every guy played his best half, but in the first half, I thought we played a very good defensive half.
Second half. Did they mix things up offensively? Did they find some holes that they were able to exploit? What led to the success that they had second half?
I think the second half really comes down to 3 plays. A fourth down conversion, on that opening drive there that really could have, if we stopped them there, we could have kept them out of the end zone, and we just needed a couple guys to reroute a little differently there. We had a third down. They had a 3rd and 6 on their own, 6-yard line. Where we've got an opportunity to make an open field tackle, and we don't get it. And then we had another 3rd down conversion. I think really the second half, I think if we stop on those, it's a completely different game. But, I've been doing this a long time. It always comes down to 3 or 4 plays somewhere, somehow.
Especially in a close game like that was. So the good news is it doesn't sound like it was a big adjustment that they made that was tough to overcome, anything like that.
No, I feel like everything, and I think if you talk to our guys, through and through, they feel like, hey, we got to take advantage of, when we're in these type of situations. We had an opportunity to get them off the field, and we didn't defensively. And then offensively, we had opportunities to stay on the field. And you're talking about 2 or 3 first downs both ways. That's 10, 12 more plays for our offense. That's 10 less plays for them. And I think that changes the game.
This loss feels different. There have been some other losses in this program. It's still a young program, so you're going to have some bumps along the way. Does this loss feel different to you?
Well, I don't know. Losses are bad, and you don't enjoy any of them. I mean, the only thing that you hope that comes out of it is your guys, learn the lessons that they need to. When you win, sometimes winning masks some of your problems. Mm-hmm. When you lose, it really opens the wound to say, okay, what do we have to do? So I'm hoping our guys grasp that. That's what we talked about in our Monday meeting, and really, how good do they want to be, and how hard are they willing to work to, play at the level that they're capable of for 60 minutes.
And going off that, I think one of the things that made this team so good last year, and correct me if I'm wrong, when they'd lose a game last year, it seems like they use that as an avenue to continue to get better.
Most definitely, yeah. And I think, we saw that all throughout the year. And I'm expecting that this week. And again, I'm expecting our guys to do everything possible within themselves to find a way to play at a higher rate, to find a way to play better, and to put themselves in a better position while also putting our team in a better position.
All right, Shorter's up next. We'll talk about that a little bit later on in the show. Still plenty to get to this week. When we come back, Gavin Burford's on the show with us. Plus, we recap the week that was Argo Athletics. This is the Coach Shinnick Show on the UWF Sports Network.
We are not here to drift. We were born to move, to change, to jump in, dive deep, make waves, break through. We were born to splash. The University of West Florida is America's best university for making a splash. The University of West Florida. How will you make a splash?
Water. It's life's most basic need. But there's a water crisis in our world right now. Nearly 1 billion people live without clean drinking water. About every 19 seconds, a mother loses one of her children to a water-related illness. The water crisis is vast, but we can solve it. Just $20 can provide one person with access to a clean water project in their village. CharityWater.org. Join us.
I'll be right back. Hi. You think you're probably sober?
Yeah.
But you're thinking about taking the back roads home, just in case. If you're probably sober, then why would you do that? Good choice.
Probably okay isn't okay. If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
That's a full glass of wine. I'll be chatting you later.
Welcome back into the Coach Shinnick Show. We've been talking Argo football with head coach Pete Shinnick. It was a learning weekend last week for quarterback Sam Vaughn, but he felt like he got quite a bit out of that game.
I got more comfortable, more reps, and I think that was the biggest thing for me coming away from game one was I just wanted to get more comfortable. It showed some areas that we got to get better in. We definitely have to finish better, and so I think that's going to be the main thing this week is just finishing. We came out firing, which is what we wanted to do, but we just had to finish it.
First half, we tackled well. We flew around. We always fly around. We're going to fly around no matter what, and we were covering well in the first half, but I just think in the second half we stopped tackling. We missed a lot of tackles, bad eyes, and just stuff like that.
On the pitch, the Argo men's soccer team had a tough loss to number 25 Rollins, but bounced back in a big way against St. Leo, the 4-0 shutout. The Argos were certainly happy with that. They're back home this weekend to host Union and Christian Brothers, and Coach Elliott certainly has high hopes for those games after a 1-1 weekend.
We were able to win the ball back quickly. We passed the ball well. The difference was we found the back of the net. Goals change games. And we're starting to learn about our personnel and establishing roles. I don't think we're quite there yet, but we're starting to establish some roles and know what our substitution patterns look like. And in this Florida heat, that's important.
On the hardwood, volleyball keeps rolling along. They swept their weekend tournament hosted at the UWF Fieldhouse. The Argos picked up wins over Spring Hill, Harding, and Lee. Now they're up to number 10 in the nation, and Melissa Walter likes the progress she's seeing out of her group.
I think we've seen a lot of different lineups from our team. I think we are settling into a couple of different options, but each player on our team is continuing to work hard to get better in their position. And I think we've done what we needed to do to put ourselves in position to be ready to go defend a conference title.
Back to the pitch, women's soccer is at home this week for the first time all year. They open conference play, hosting Union and Christian Brothers. Joe Bartlinski certainly likes the start his team's off to, and they're glad to be home.
Yeah, looking forward to this coming home. We're going to have great crowds. The players are going to be focused. We're going to work hard in training this week, and we'll throw it out there and let's see what we can do against two very tough, conference opponents. And we don't know how we're going to respond. We're at home. Like I said, great crowds, and with our leadership, we hopefully will come out strong on Friday and Sunday's matches.
So plenty going on campus this weekend. Also, we have football, and we welcome in Gavin Burford, Argo linebacker. You're in graduate school now. You're a transfer here from Abilene Christian. You played for Darian Doolin before. Welcome in, and welcome to Pensacola. How's it been treating you so far?
It's pretty nice right now. I mean, I love the team, love the atmosphere. Took a visit to the beach, a little different out here in Texas, but I mean, I love it overall.
Talk about the decision to transfer, obviously now in grad school, and what all goes through that, and what all went into that process for you?
I mean, just talking with my family over, I just thought I just needed something new. I mean, from ACU, it was time to leave, and I just put on my Twitter, got my papers and everything. Then Coach Doolin, ODC at ACU, he hit me up and just said, "You love it here. You love the team." And I mean, they won games. I saw the championship game on TV. I was like, "That's pretty cool."
That wouldn't be bad to be a part of that,
I want to
right?
be part of like a team that just wanted to win games. I wasn't part of that. I mean, at ACU, a lot of losing there, so I just wanted to have a winning team.
You went through a coaching change while you were there.
Yes, sir.
That process has to be tough on a guy.
Oh yeah, yes sir. Yeah, I went through about 21 different coaches, like position-wise.
Wow.
3 strength coaches and 3 ADs. So I mean, it was a lot to take in, a lot of different people, different faces. So it was just a lot over there, and just felt like it was time to go.
When you decided that Pensacola and the University of West Florida was your next stop, how much of that had to do with the fact that you already had some level of familiarity with Coach Doolin?
I mean, it had a lot to do with it. I mean, Coach Dool's playbook, it's very complex if you ask anybody, and it took me a while to learn it. And at inside backer, I'm like the quarterback of the defense. So when I figured all the plays out, I mean, I just needed to come back here and just can control the defense, you know.
Cultures everywhere are different on a football team. How does this compare to others you've been a part of?
From old school, yeah, it's a lot of different cultures with different head coaches. It's really the head coach that makes the difference. First year I got to ACU, I felt like losing was a habit. We lost games and people wouldn't care. And after that first loss we had this weekend, you could tell that the team cared and said we weren't trying to feel this feeling anymore after a loss or a game. So we're just gonna practice hard and just, I mean, win every game we can, you know.
Sounds like it makes you guys hungry the rest of the way. Well, Coach,
yes, sir.
Well, thanks so much for stopping by, Gavin.
Yes, sir.
Good luck the rest of the way, and hopefully we'll chat again.
Yes, sir.
All right. That was great. Gavin Burford joining us today on the Coach Shinnick Show. Still plenty more to get to. In fact, we'll preview shorter with head coach when we welcome him back. Next, this is the Coach Shinnick Show on the UWF Sports Network.
The world is our ocean, and we are here to make a splash, to dive deep, to create, to develop, to break through. At the University of West Florida, there's no limit to how you can make a splash. Don't just sit on shore, jump in. The University of West Florida. How will you make a splash?
Don't wait. Communicate. Make your emergency plan today.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. You're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Yeah, I saw that coming. That will throw you off track. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome back into the Coach Shinnick Show. He's Coach Shinnick, and we welcome him back into his show. And we've previewed shorter this week. I'm guessing there's a lot of things you want to see out of your team. There's some progress that you want to see made this week. Where are the areas that you're really going to be keying on this week as you look at you guys against shorter?
One of the things you talk about as a coaching staff to your players a lot is, we got to get better every week. And I mean, we're trying to, play for a long time, and we want to play beyond the regular season. And so in doing that, you you got to improve every day, and you got to improve every week. There's an opportunity for us to improve. Obviously, Shorter hasn't been playing well, and they're off to an 0-2 start. But we have a saying, and it fits when we play a great team and when we play a lesser team. It's how we play, not who we play. And I'm really focusing on how we play and us coming out, playing fast, playing with knowledge, eyes in the right place, and doing really what we're supposed to do.
It's pretty simple. The recipe is, as you say there, if you do what you're supposed to do, you can beat a team regardless of whether or not they've lost 30 straight like Shorter, or you're playing a team like Midwestern State, correct?
Correct. And, in our program, we talk about, trust the system, okay? Trust the system, trust the process. Bill Belichick says, do your job. It's the same type of thing. But I really want our focus as a team to be on us and to be on what we're doing. And again, that's the part of our mantra and part of our foundation is it's how we play, okay? What are we going to do? If we play to our best ability, I'm extremely confident. I don't care who we play.
They've got a new head coach this year. He was part of their first ever program that they had. Are they doing anything different? Because I know you're still going to do some scout stuff in practice, so are you noticing anything different that they've done, some new wrinkles that maybe...
They are. They're a different defense, and they're really doing a lot of good things on defense with how they're trying to get an extra guy in the box, how they're trying to bring some pressure, and then offensively, their quarterback, I think, probably the best player on their team. And he had a great game against us last year, and the wide receiver that had big yardage is back. So, we know what we're dealing with. Again, they have not had great success the first two games, but I think they're a program that's moving in the right direction.
We talked about Mike being out and Sam getting some good reps in here early in the season. I feel like having a backup quarterback that's fresh down the stretch is very important. A guy that's familiar with the offense. Is this an important game for him?
It is, because we got to see him continue to grow and take advantage. And I don't care who you're throwing against. I don't care what the coverage is. We got to be able to take what a defense gives us and see those reads and be able to apply that to move the ball. I think, one of the things that was great in the first half is we were moving, didn't punt. We're moving in the right direction. Then we punted late. And then we come out in the second half and we're not able to get those conversions and not able to put our team in the position that it needs to be in. And so this week is, again, what are we going to do? How are we going to respond? And how well is each guy going to do his technique? And is he going to get better?
The non-conference season is over. Now it's on to conference play. Does it feel different?
It does, because I think now, we've been really tested. We didn't answer the call in the second test, but we were tested week 1. We were tested week 2. Now we got to go out and find a way to play great in Gulf South Conference.
The Division II playoff system, we got very comfortable and very familiar with that last year. It's something you're obviously familiar with in your past, but Argo fans saw it for the first time last year. You can really get away with some regular season losses, as we saw last season. So that loss last week, I feel like that doesn't kill you. That doesn't diminish the possibility of still getting a playoff berth down the stretch. So where do you feel? I know it's week 3, but what does something like that do as far as playoff picture goes?
Well, part of the whole deal, and I don't care if it's Division I, FCS, or Division II. A loss, if you're going to lose early, because that typically put you in a good position if you can build on that and gain momentum down the stretch. I don't know what that loss is going to do until we get to the end of the season and how the rest of it plays out. My goal is let's figure out Shorter and let's find a way to get another W.
Shorter, obviously, this week. You talked about the things that they do defensively, offensively. Are there some weapons you got to watch out for there?
There is, and again, I think their quarterback's their best player, and I think they've got a tall wide receiver that had a great game against us last year. He's also their kicker. He's also their punter, so really a multi-threat type of player. And they're a team that, we've got to keep off guard. I think if the quarterback has time to sit back there and throw, we saw that last year, that he can connect and be dangerous.
Back at Blue Wahoo Stadium, The stadium's going to be finished. The bleachers are going to be in. I'm guessing it's going to feel a little different than week 1.
It will. We're excited that the infield's filled in, the outfield bleachers are there. Disappointed for the Wahoos because we obviously would have loved for them to keep winning, but they had an amazing season again. But yeah, we're excited to get into that environment and get back with our fans and fill that place up.
All right, Coach. Good luck this week. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure. That is Argo head coach Pete Shinnick. Coming up this week, it's a busy week in UWF athletics. Both men's and women's soccer are at home. Volleyball is on the road, so is cross country, and you can keep up to date with everything at GoArgos.com. Don't forget, the Argos are at home this weekend against Shorter at Blue Wahoo Stadium. You can listen to all the action on ESPN Pensacola. For head coach Pete Shinnick and Gavin Burford, our entire crew, I'm Tommy Thrall. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on the Coach Shinnick Show on the UWF Sports Network.